Morning. Wanted to show everybody the latest acquisition. Drove up to Albany to pick this up last night. This is a 1960 weather wheel, 220, 9,700 BTUs. It is not a heat model, even though the control says heat. I see no evidence of it having heat. There's no reversing valves on the refrigeration system. I don't see any coils hidden away anywhere. So I'm pretty certain it does not have heat. It's just a normal AC unit, and the grill being on it is a mystery. Condition of it is pretty nice. Let's see if we get a flashlight here. That works. This one. I ran it last night, so that's from last night running, but there's a little rust in here, but I don't think there's much of any rot on it. Compressor mounts are still good. Maybe a little rot in the corner over here, but we'll have to see and clean it out. The tray feels pretty solid. There's no holes underneath it. So, interestingly enough, there is that drain hole, and then this one seems a little lower. So maybe they weren't as crazy about having tons of water in the trays on these earlier models. It's got an AU pancake in it. Other notable differences with other weather wheels that I've noticed is this tube here, which is the way they're bringing in outside air. It's pulling it in from the condenser area. I'm not sure the logic is behind that. Is that the heat? You get condenser air? Now, when you turn this knob, this is the other bizarre part of this. There's a cam behind here, like on Russ's 57, that there's cams that move things, and there's a cam behind here, behind this plate. When you turn this to this position, the door is still not open. When you turn it to that position, the door opens into that tube. So there's three positions here. So there's another damper inside here that's doing something. I have to see when I take the cover off what it's really doing. Here's the thermostat. I mean, you look at the condition chassis here, it's pretty clean. I mean, very little rust. So even most of the paint is good on it. I don't think this is going to get a full bore restoration. I think it's going to get a sympathetic restoration. Thorough cleaning. I'll pull the condenser off, take the shroud out. I think even the paint's good on the shroud, from what I can see. So whatever paint is good, I'm going to keep. I'll probably just end up repainting the floor of the pan, and you know, new brighting the coils and such, oil the motor. The paint looks good on the compressor. Here's the case. I think this must have been in storage for a very long time. Definitely wasn't outside, because I mean the Fetters badge still has a good amount of its paint on it yet. It's got a little bit of a dent. It was definitely dropped or pushed. Paint's a little, I'm not sure what this could be paint on top of the paint here. Maybe it'll come off. The window mounting system's different on this from later units, and then somebody put these stupid clamps here, which they drilled through the case, and I'll show you the grill. So this is very similar to the early grills, except that it does not have the gold mesh. The mesh is beige. Now, it could be gold, and I don't know, maybe you guys can give me a vote. Should it become gold, or get another mesh material and paint that gold and keep this one stored away? It's missing a lot of its gold lettering, like the gold lettering on Fetters is missing, and the gold inside the weather wheel control is missing. So I'll have to put that back. One cool thing it does have is this. Close the door. It's a deluxe. That's pretty neat. The seal's even in pretty good shape underneath here. So this should clean up all right. Only issue that's with this grill is this Let's see this here. This bracket, so these clips on the later weather wheels are molded into the cover, but in this one there's a piece of metal that goes across and then has a little tab sticking up for the for the cover to screw into. It's missing on the side completely. Looks like somebody broke it at some point because the holes are broken there, there, and there. So I have to fabricate something here so that the cover can be held on right. I had it running last night for a few minutes, getting temps in the mid 40s, and water was just pouring out of it. You had to keep in mind that it was probably 88 degrees in here, 100% humidity, so it was definitely a stress test. But we'll turn it on now, see what we get. Ambient right now is 79. So a little cooler than yesterday, but still very, very sticky. Anyways, let's fire it up. We'll do the pointless vent and exhaust functions first. Use vent and go to low exhaust. This faceplate, Russ, you can tell me, this is solid brass. I want to strip the lacquer and polish it up probably because it's pretty rough looking. High exhaust. Temps we're getting. It is blowing cold, but you can see. I noticed up here that it was a little warm at the top of the evaporator last night. Curious to see if that'll still remain. Now. Top row evap is still 73. Here. Seems better than last night. I think the top row is not in the 30s, but it's still in the 50s. After it's fully up, it'll be okay. But it's already waterfalling. Say sorry now. I should have said in advance. Looks like this is gonna be another long video. Maybe you can hear the difference. So there's three, like I said, three settings on here. This, I believe, is the maximum cooling, and there's that setting, which does sound a little different when you go to it. And then that's exhaust. Last time this thing was waterfalling was something crazy out here. It was just 100% humidity. Check the temps one more time. So there's still some cooling on the middle of the last row. Could be a tinge low in charge. I don't think I would touch it. Coils aren't freezing over, it is cold. Circumstantial. The ambient here